o'clock. It is now 7 o'clock. I'm calling to order the Adrian City Commission meeting for June 21st, 2021. If everyone would please rise for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Heath,
Present.
Commissioner Halt,
Present.
Commissioner Roberts,
Present.
Commissioner Watson,
Present.
Commissioner Strayer,
Present.
Commissioner Gauss,
Present.
Commissioner Castleberry.
Present.
All commission members present.
May I get a motion to approve the minutes of the June 7th, 2021 special meeting?
So moved.
Support. I have a motion from Commissioner Halt with a second from Commissioner Roberts. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Halt,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Strayer,
Yes.
Commissioner Gauss,
Yes.
Commissioner Castleberry,
Yes.
Mayor Heath.
Yes.
Minutes approved by a 7-0 vote.
May I get a motion to pay the vouchers as presented?
Move to pay the vouchers as presented.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Roberts with a second from Commissioner Watson. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Strayer,
Yes.
Commissioner Gauss,
Yes.
Commissioner Castleberry,
Yes.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Halt.
Yes.
Vouchers approved by a 7-0 vote.
Commissioners, there is in communications in C1 Finance, you have a revenue and expenditure report for May. Are there any questions or comments on that? Moving on to the regular agenda. Resolution R21-128 is from administration. It is a resolution to approve a lease agreement with the Adrian District Library. May I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
Move to adopt the resolution.
Support.
Are there any public comments? Are there any commissioner comments? I have a motion from Commissioner Strayer with a second from Commissioner Roberts. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Strayer,
Yes.
Commissioner Gauss,
Yes.
Commissioner Castleberry,
Yes.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Halt,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Resolution approved by a 7-0 vote.
Resolution R21-129 is from Parks and Engineering Services. It is a resolution to award a bid for pickleball court fencing. May I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
Adopt the resolution, Gauss. Support. Help.
Are there any public comments? Are there any commissioner comments? I have a motion from Commissioner Gauss with a second from Commissioner Halt. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Strayer,
Yes.
Commissioner Gauss,
Yes.
Commissioner Castleberry,
Yes.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Halt,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson.
Yes.
Resolution approved by a 7-0 vote.
Resolution R21-130 is from Parks and Engineering Services. It is a resolution to award a bid for wrecker service. May I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
Move to adopt the resolution.
Support.
Are there any public comments?
Good evening.
Go ahead. State your name and address, please.
I'm Mike Neal with Neal's Towing and Automotive Service, 235 West Maple. I'm with Neal's Towing and Automotive Service. I'd like to adjust on a couple points with the city record bid. I bid this 3 years ago and was the lowest. We weren't awarded the bid because it was not enough of a difference to warrant the change. So here we are 3 years again later. We're the lowest bid by considerable margins, and the contract is still pending your vote. So here I am in questioning the transparency of the bid process. Bids were due May 20th at 2 p.m. And I called Monday on the 24th and questioned the tabulations. I called several times with no response until I called Michelle Dewey and asked if there was any update. Her response to me was, "We will be getting in contact with you." Coincidentally, that afternoon, I received an email from Matt T regarding some questions he had for the bid. I was told my address didn't exist in the city. However, 235 West Maple is a valid address, and Neal's receives bills and mails there, along as citizens' gas bills. I was asked a few questions on my bid and concerns. I was asked where the vehicles would be stored, and that is at the 235 West Maple. I was asked if there was a lockable gate, which there is with security cameras. All this was sent to an email to Matt for review and no response. I also attached pictures. From then on, I have called Matt every day, still have yet to speak with him. There was no option to leave a voicemail because his mailbox was full. So my next thought was to get in touch with Stephen Kraus at the City of Adrian Purchasing Department. I still have not had any reply. My frustration here today is, as a business owner, the process and transparency. My question is, if we have a highly qualified towing company that is the considerable low on the bid, what is the reasoning for the bid process if we do not acknowledge the actual bid? I would like for you to consider my questions and concerns for this process. To end, Neal's has always been a staple in the towing industry in Lenawee County since 1981. I'm hopeful this year to serve the City of Adrian community that serves in your consideration. Thank you.
Hearing no more public comment, are there any commissioner comments? Commissioner Watson?
I know we don't usually address public comment, but there's some legitimate concerns or what appear to be legitimate concerns mentioned by Mr. Neal. From City Hall, what's the answer to that of lack of communication as well as that address? I mean, I know it's in the memo that it's not a valid address. Can you explain that further to me so I have a better understanding? Because what was just said is an alarm to me.
Matt, are you there that you can address that?
Yeah, I'm here. I will say I have received a call from McNeil. It is on my pad to call back. I've only received one call. And I know my mailbox was full, but it was emptied the day I found out that it was full. So I have yet to call Mike back. That's where we stand.
Can you discuss I know you and I talked, Matt, about the storage lot at that location and the fact that there's another towing company who's also a bidder at that same location. Can you discuss your concerns about that?
Some of the concerns we had was the lockable storage was very small and full to what I saw already. Mr. Neal did send pictures over and we did take a look at it. It does lock, it does have storage, but the storage seems full and seems like it could only fit a few cars. So we had concerns about how many cars they could fit on site. We also had concerns of the address. It does share location with an address we do have on file at 239 West Maple, which is Tanner Auto. So what we kind of figured out was Tanner Auto is the service at 239, but there must be some sort of lease agreement involved between two other towing companies that support Mr. Neal to have a business there.
Commissioner Halt, go ahead.
We were down this road 3 years ago. Same thing. The fact of we have a business owner that wasn't contacted back with questions that were asked of him, like Commissioner Watson says, alarming. From my experience the last couple of weeks, that seemed like a common thread in City Hall right now. I think this whole contract, I want to know from a city perspective, what is it with affordable towing that we continue to skate the process? Why is BK Towing, which is the second bid, I drove by the lot today, why are they being overlooked for the third lowest bidder again? When Dix Amico and Post Towing had the contract, affordable towing came in under them and got the contract. That's how the process works. So my challenge to my colleagues is this: Neal's Towing has an upstanding reputation. If you want your citizens that you represent to pay more for a service provided, that's on you. But like 3 years ago, I voted no. I'm going to vote no again. And the bigger issue with me is this: when a business owner is in the process of bidding a job, we should be contacting them back. That's the job of City Hall. So again, if your mailbox is full, with all due respect, Matt, you should be on top of that and clear it for our constituents. Again, I'm a surefire no, and more so, I think it's troubling that we're not even talking about the second lowest bidder of this project. So my real question is, what is it about affordable towing that the city, so do you have to, I think of more the last line. The city has had a long-standing and successful relationship with the recommended contractor. That's not my issue. My job is to make sure the citizens of Adrian get the best bang for their buck for the service provided by the city. That's all I have to say about this, but it's becoming frustrating every 3 years. We have to continually find reasons to not give this contract to the low bidder. That's the more of the concern than the contract itself.
I would like to say that I personally had, I was aware what was going on, so I did personally go by. I also had the same concerns with that lot already being pretty much full right now, and it is a very small lot where they were going to be, the storage lot. But I also was concerned with this whole process. So both ways, I feel like there needs to be more time to explore it. There needs to be phone calls returned. There needs to be more exploration into this before it's just a quick decision and we're either yes or noing a wreck or service, since there are so many red flags and questions in this and on both sides, because I have seen that lot and I do have concerns about it. And I knew there was a couple different people at the same address, but on the same hand, they were coming in lower and was there going to be some discussion on this? And I'm not sure that discussion happened. And that's where I feel that it is concerning to be awarding a bid at this point until we know all the facts and we have it all figured out. And then the city staff can look at that full picture and bring their recommendation to us from there.
Well, Mayor, what it looks like to me is that if you don't have a connection to City Hall, you can't play. That's what it looks like for me. Because we're not even talking about the second low bid. We're talking about the first low bid. You skate the two to get to the affordable towing in. I just want to know why. I want to know why is the reason that every year I have to sit up here and have the same speech I had 3 years ago for the same company.
Let me jump in here and say that, please refresh my memory, because we did have this same talk 3 years ago. And if my memory serves me right, it all came down to Neil's Towing did not have as much space or as much space that was needed to meet our needs. And I think 3 years ago, there was also an issue of having the parking lot locked up, but I don't really remember. So I'm wondering, is there a backup lot that if this main lot is full, that can be used?
But Commissioner Strayer, to that point though, is the number of parking spots in the lot specified in the bid contract? Because I think the word "it appears," or I assume, or it looks like, has been used multiple times in this discussion, that he doesn't have any space. If he wins the contract and he's supposed to have 20 spaces in a lock lot, he has to get 20 spaces in that lock lot, period, or he's in violation of the contract. It's not our problem to figure out, where he might move cars to if we've said he needs 20 spaces. If it says a lock lot, if our bid doesn't specify that they need a certain number of spaces, who are we to say he doesn't have enough space for our cars, or we need to redo this bid of some sort? But right now there's too much unknown.
I agree.
Yeah.
When I saw this, I was surprised because my first thought was, this is the same exact situation as 3 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, what 25% additional value is affordable offering us? And if they have a lock lot that accommodates us, that has a requirement that we have discovered, then we need to write that in the bid. We don't need people to guess.
RFPs are RFPs. They're black and white. This is what we want. You bid that RFP, we get it back, we evaluate it. Again, the main question is, why are we having the same conversation that we had 3 years ago? That's the main question to me. And that's what's frustrating about this is that,
Counsel, could I speak on this?
how are we gonna,
No, you cannot. We're
how
on
are we,
commissioner comments.
how are we gonna get more players to the table when it comes to bid processes if we keep skating the process?
I would suggest that we should have this rebid. I think there's been confusion about, and I understand what Matt's saying. That facility doesn't look like it can accommodate our needs because the storage lot that was identified is tiny and full, and also, immediately adjacent to the trail, not the best possible location, but everybody needs to bid the same level playing field. So if we didn't have an RFP that specified what it was that we expected of a bidder, I think we should redo it in a fashion where those expectations are clear.
Right, but you want to rebid the job, but like we did with Drake's project, now the numbers are out there. So now the competitors know what the price is. I mean, that was the argument used when we tabled the chamber upgrade, same thing. So what do we, I mean, this is frustrating to me. I hate not having communication within City Hall with business. I hate that. I hate being involved in it. I hate getting emails. I have to tell citizens to put my city email in with your email so you get a response. I'm tired of it. Sick of it. I don't want to be in a thread with Matt and our superintendent from Parks and yourself. I don't want to be in those emails. I don't. My point is that if we rebid it, which is fine. If we want to go that direction, it's fine. But the numbers are already out there again. So.
Is there any way for us to award this to Neil's based on the fact that they're the lowest price if they can meet the needs of us for their storage in that lot? I mean, like a contingency where we can approve it because they did come in with the lowest rates, but we have a certain level of discomfort related to one component of it. Room, secured room. And I don't know what parties are out there that need to go visit to see that we have adequate secured space, but that's the way I'd like to proceed tonight.
Honestly, I have not obviously read the bid docs that were propounded in this circumstance. I'd be more comfortable if I knew what exactly we were asking for. before we make a decision on whether or not this is a conforming bid.
Well, I'd be more apt to table this matter than to send it back for another bid.
Mhm.
So I motion to table this resolution.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion to table resolution R 21-130 from Parks and Engineering Services, which is a resolution to award a bid for wrecker service. The motion is from Commissioner Watson with a second from Commissioner Halt. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Gauss,
Yes.
Commissioner Castleberry,
Yes.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Halt,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Strayer.
Yes.
Table to motion to table this bid by a 7-0 vote.
What's the date on the next meeting?
6th, till July 6th.
To July 6th.
In your packets, you have miscellaneous reports. Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments on those reports? Okay, moving on to public comment. At this time, it is public comment. Just to reiterate, there is a 3-minute time limit, which you should be able to see on your screen. I hope we can see it, but I hope you can. And for the record, please state your name and address.
Attorney Nancy Eaton Gordon, I'd like to speak if I'm able.
Go ahead.
Nancy Eaton Gordon, address 712 Oxford Court, Adrian, Michigan, business address 160 North Winter Street. It's not a question I know that I expect an answer to, but I just wanted to clarify that my ears did not deceive me. Did I just hear the city administrator, Mr. Elliott, state that he hadn't bothered to read the bid packet before this issue came out? And if that is true, I just wanted to say that is very concerning. I too know about the bid process from this a few years ago. And yes, it seems like the city's unfortunately treading the same ground of having to go back through the bid process on this towing issue and having to find reasons why the lowest bid isn't being approved. Obviously, if things do need to be adjusted in the bid packet, that's fine, but it seems at a minimum, things should have been reviewed and you should know what's in that bid packet to know that if that concern and question comes up, you could answer it, or at least point to, yes, it's there, or no, it's not. So I just wanted to say that that is very concerning and troubling. Thank you.
Hearing no more public comment, are there any commissioner comments? Commissioner Watson?
Just very briefly, and I speak to my peers on this one. We're in a really another unique time as commissioners, and I've thought a lot about it, and I've been challenged that I'm a lame duck commissioner at this point for not running for reelection and things like that. Far from the truth. This commission is extremely important to me, and the city is important to me. So, but with that, I've had a lot of time to think about things. And I jotted them down in the last little bit between sessions, just because I wanted to say just a little something to us as a body. And these might not come out exactly right, but I think they catch the sentiment. We're elected officials of the city of Adrian, and being in this role has a large amount of responsibility. A lot of that responsibility lies within our words. We have to be careful with the words we are using and the meanings that they might carry, whether we're talking to citizens, peers, staff, department heads, it doesn't matter the title. People, but especially our employees, are listening to us. Be aware and be thoughtful with the words that we are using. Let's be leaders that people want to follow rather than a leader that somebody has to follow.
I know that it's no secret that, because it's been in the public during a public meeting, to show that we are fractured right now, that we are a divided commission in certain respects. And I want to address that. I wanted to address it at the last meeting and it ran so long. I just did not want to have this fall on, on ears that weren't listening at that point, because everybody wanted to get out of that meeting. We as a commission need to remember why we were elected: to serve the city to the best of our ability, listening to and being a voice for the citizens, not for our own interests. We must work together. Divided, we can accomplish nothing. This does not mean that we need to agree on everything, but we do need to agree to disagree and get along. My former kindergarten teaching years, in other words, play nice in the sandbox. We don't all have to play by each other in the sandbox, but we need to play nice in the sandbox and stop throwing sand in each other's eyes. We need to watch what we say to each other, whether it's in, or what we say about each other in public, around others, or to each other, and how we speak to each other. We need to respect each other. We were all put into these leadership roles, and we just need to, we expect respect, so we need to also give that respect to each other. We need to put our personal feelings and emotions aside. We need to work together with the goal of making Adrian a better community. We need to own it, take full responsibility for fixing our commission and those fractures. We need to study the facts and seek out the truth. We need to resist the urge to point fingers. And like I've said before many times, we need to listen, not listen to reply. I just recently lost a very close, dear friend and mentor, and his favorite phrase at all times when I went to him needing leadership advice was always, "With challenge comes opportunity." With challenge comes our opportunity to show that we can be a stronger commission together, and we can get through this, and we will get through this, but we really need to start working together, trusting each other, listening to each other, and stop the division. Thank you. Hearing no more commissioner comments, may I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Watson with the second from Commissioner Halt. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.